So a few weeks ago, I made this TikTok that seemed to do fairly well.
You're living through a global pandemic, an economic recession, and a revolution against our racist government. So please do not be hard on yourself if your mental health is not great right now.
And it got me thinking that, oh my gosh, people feel awful right now. I really want to make a video talking about how we can still continue our activism and pushing forward social causes while also maintaining our mental health, our mental energy, and making sure that we are taking care of ourselves. What I personally have been feeling over the last couple weeks especially is just being very overwhelmed, sad, frustrated, angry, just this whole jungle juice of negative emotions. And in learning more and more about Black Lives Matter, Black history, and the experiences of Black people in America, I have just become extremely sad and beating myself up also for feeling sad and for feeling these negative emotions. And disclaimer, this video is not meant to detract from Black Lives Matter or different social causes that are happening right now. This video is meant to discuss how we can both take care of ourselves and take care of the larger social goals. And now I'm gonna share some things that I have been doing to try and combat this. First is to honor your emotions. And what I mean by this is just letting yourself feel the emotions that you're experiencing, whatever they may be. If you feel sad, frustrated, angry, numb, you can feel whatever you need to feel right now. That is totally okay. You just need to be honest with yourself in what you are feeling. Do not judge yourself for having these emotions. If you are a human being and you are in this plethora of negative news, negative social media, negative energy, it's only natural that you're going to start to experience some negative emotions. So honor your emotions. It is totally okay if you're feeling that way. Next is to acknowledge our limitations. As human beings, all of us are naturally going to have some sort of limitation in how much information we can process, how much news we can take in, how many difficult topics can we process in any given moment, and also identifying what exactly do those limits look like within ourselves. So for me personally, in the realm of limiting news and social media, for example, I've noticed that if I spend about 30 minutes of uninterrupted scrolling on either social media or reading through the news, I will physically start to feel myself wilting and feeling really sad. The point that your limit exists at is going to be when benefits of using social media or reading the news are no longer outweighing the cons of using them. So when you start to feel yourself becoming extremely mentally affected by whatever you're reading or by whatever social media you're scrolling through, I think that it's really important to acknowledge that you have hit your limit and that you have hit a wall, and that is totally okay. The next thing that I have been trying to do is to schedule an empower hour. And I stole this term from the Gretchen Rubin Happier podcast. Would 12 out of 10 recommend if you guys have not listened to it before. But essentially an empower hour is a segmented chunk of time that you will dedicate to do these different things for social causes that empower you. What I personally have been doing has been scheduling my empower hour on the weekends, and I'll take an hour on a Saturday afternoon to make sure I'm doing my part and doing different things for social causes and engaging in activism. During this empower hour, you can do a variety of different things. You can spend your time educating yourself. You can finally go through all those different resources that you've been saving. You can find petitions to sign. You can contact your local officials. You can find organizations to donate to or support. You can spread social media awareness. You can go out to physically protest. There's a lot of different things that you can do with your empower hour and your segmented chunk of time, and that is just up to you to decide what is your chosen form or forms of activism. And even though this is called an empower hour, you also don't have to make it just 1 hour. You can totally do more, or you can do less depending on what, again, your limitations are. And you also don't only have to do this once a week. You could totally do this like 30 minutes 2 times a week, or maybe you prefer like 10 minutes every single day, or maybe you prefer 2 hours every other week. just figuring out whatever you're comfortable with and whatever your limitations are, and then also scheduling that time into your calendar to make sure you have that time set aside for doing these things. And also, you don't have to do an Empower Hour just on your own. You can totally do this with friends, coworkers, a significant other, family. You can schedule this time, especially if you need that sort of outer accountability. It's really helpful to have different people that you can count on to do this Empower Hour with you. And that way you'll be able to share your overall pool of knowledge with a larger group of people. So again, schedule your Empower Hour. I find that it's been really helpful to sort of segment my energy into this time frame. And for me personally, I know once it goes like on the calendar, I will very much commit to it, or I've mentally decided that I'm going to do this thing. So I find it very helpful to set aside some time to do your activist social good work. And lastly, I think it's really important to think of doing social good as any sort of habit that you want to develop. So when you think about any sort of new habit that you want to create, say you really want to be super fit and you want to be really healthy, you aren't going to become this fit god or goddess just by eating 6 salads in 2 days, you know? It's very much about consistency and long term and doing things sustainably over a long period of time. The same thing definitely goes for activism and social good. If you really want social good to be a part of your personal life and do your part in helping these larger social causes, it's really important to turn it into a habit and turn it into a sustainable long-term goal. Doing social good isn't something that we're gonna see results from right away. Very much like fitness. If you really want to see results, you have to be doing something long-term, and you might not see results for many months, many years, and that is totally okay. Just kind of knowing that you are doing small incremental steps, doing the right thing, doing something that is right, that feels right to you, that is gonna be the most important part. So again, don't feel like you have to force yourself to watch every single documentary about the Black experience in 48 hours or read every single news headline for like 2 weeks straight. It's totally okay to be spreading your energy over a long period of time, and this will also benefit the larger social movement in the long run. We don't all have to be like perfect activists. We're all sort of in the same boat, learning and growing together. We just need to be very open-minded and be willing to hear people out and listen to other people's perspectives and their experiences. And for me, it's been very inspiring just seeing this rise in collective consciousness, and there's a lot of consciousness shifting, and everyone is sort of getting up off their asses and putting in the work to do social good. I've been finding a lot of comfort in our shared humanity, and I am incredibly excited for the revolution. And I will close with this meme that Marjan sent me. Shout out Marj. Woo! Said something like, oh, we all went from making banana bread to dismantling our government in a matter of a week. And that is fucking awesome. That's all I have to say, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!